It's only in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm hitchhiking home because I didn't drive at the time. And I'm standing again at 2nd and Santa Monica, you know?
So
a lot happened in my life at 2nd and Santa Monica.
So you were in Santa Monica and you were hitchhiking back home?
Back to Venice. Back to Venice,
okay.
right? And they're right next to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And I stuck up my thumb, and this yellow car goes by. And then this sky blue station wagon goes by and pulls over. So I run up to it, and I look in the window like I always do to make sure it's not somebody with a weapon.
Yeah, yeah.
And I see this profile, and I go, oh my God, that's Bob Dylan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so...
Well, it was blue station wagon?
A sky blue station wagon with his cowboy hat on, his sunglasses and everything.
Oh. Did he look maybe something kind of like this? Let's see.
There you go.
Maybe like... Is that how maybe he kind of looked
well,
like that?
Well, yeah, more or less, okay? You're not the spitting image,
right,
but,
right.
you know, you'll do in a pinch, okay?
Yeah.
So I get in the car, because I can't believe that, you know, of all people to get picked up by.
Yeah.
And he says to me, where are you going? I said, Rosen Pacific. He says, what do you do? I said, I got a punk band. I got a band.
Yeah.
He goes, oh yeah, what's it called? And this whole time he hasn't looked at me. He's just straight ahead driving, hadn't looked at me. He says, what's it called? I go, the Cripples. Bob Dylan looks at me, takes his sunglasses off, puts them on his cowboy hat, and he says, the Cripples? I go, yeah. He goes, sing me a song. So right there in his front seat, I start singing him, I'm Your Cripple. And my brain is melting. I can't believe I'm yelling lyrics at Bob Dylan, right? So he says, that's pretty good, sing me another one. So I sang him Straight Jacket. I'm not gonna not sing him the damn songs. And he says, what happened? And I tell him I have cerebral palsy. He says, do you think God can heal you? And
really? He asked you that question?
He asked me, did I think God? And the last thing I wanted to do was get into a religious discussion with Bob Dylan, because I knew that he had just released Slow Train A-Comin'.
That's
which
the
was
tour
his
I saw.
Christian conversion, right?
Or supposedly.
Right. And so I didn't want to, I just said, no, I didn't go. I said, well, you know, Bob, I don't believe in organized religion, but as I understand it, neither does God. And he laughed. He liked the joke.
Wow.
He liked it.
Great.
And so we're getting pretty close at this time to where I'm going to be dropped off. And I figured, Shawn, you're never going to get 10 minutes alone with Bob Dylan. So go for broke. So I said, you know, Bob, I don't want to take you out of your way, but I do have a demo at my house. You're not taking me out of my way. Let's go. Bob Dylan comes to my house. And we pull up behind the building, and he says, go get your tape. I'll wait right here. So like a bullet, man, I'm up the stairs, and I get the tape, and I come back, and he puts it in the cassette player, and he didn't rewind it. It started with a reggae song we did called Woman is a Crutch, one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. It's a reggae tune. And he's like, who's playing that? Who's playing that sax over there? And I'm saying, oh, that's my man Mark. He did that in one take. Isn't that unbelievable? So then Bob says, can I keep the tape? I'm like, Bob, steal the damn tape. So
can I keep the tape?
Yeah, can I keep the tape? I go like, yeah, of course you can. What am I going to say, no?
Yeah, right.
So anyways, he says, you'll hear from me. And I said, will I really? And he says, yeah, you really will. I think he got a little irritated, like I was questioning him or something. And I wasn't. I was just like, will I really? So anyways, I bummed a cigarette off him, which I'm still mad to this day. I didn't keep the cigarette butt as a memento. And then to make a long story short, a few weeks later, I get a call from my lawyer. And he says, have you ever heard of Management 3? They want to meet with you. And I knew that that was Bob's management company. And I'm figuring, Bob Dylan set this up. Yeah, I want to take that meeting. Let's go to that meeting. Yeah. So we go there. And I'm explaining to the president of the company, Bob Finkelstein, you know, the concept. You know, what we're saying to people is stop being afraid, get proud of how you're made. We're trying to do for the word cripple what James Brown did for the word black, give it a positive connotation as opposed to a negative. And I can see the wheels are turning. And there's all these really well-coiffed people around the table. And I can see that I've got them intrigued, right? But for 45 minutes, nobody mentions Dylan. So as I'm literally getting up to leave, I go, hey, Mr. Finkelstein, one of your clients has my tape. He goes, oh yeah, who? And right there I realized.
And they didn't know?
They didn't know. I realized my lawyer actually put this together. So I turn to him and I say, Bob Dylan. You should have seen. It was like a Fellini movie, man. All these well-coiffed people jumping up in unison. Bob Dylan's got your tape. Bob Dylan's got your tape.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah. 2 days later, they called me and said, we don't want to give you a record deal. We want to give you your own label.
Wow.
And I was told later by the secretaries, because as you know, whenever you're dealing in business, get to know the secretaries. They give you the lay of the land.
That's right.
And they said, Shawn, when you left, calls went out around the world. And of course, Bob was right there in Malibu. And he said, you should sign him. The kid's a great poet. That's what they told me.
That's what he said.
And yeah, and I couldn't believe this.
You cannot get a better compliment than that.